I'm joined now by Adastra Labs Holdings Limited CEO Andy Hale. Andy, welcome.
Thank you for having me. Good morning.
Andy, let's start with a quick overview. What is the business of Adastra Labs?
So Adastra Lab Holdings is comprised of two primary subsidiaries. Adastra Labs Incorporated, which is a standard processing license applicant with Health Canada, based out of a facility, 13,000 square feet in British Columbia, Lower Mainland in Langley. Another subsidiary is Analytics, which is a recently licensed analytical testing lab for cannabis, co-located in the facility. About 800 square feet of the facility is devoted to that testing. And we believe that puts us in a good position to provide our standard processing clients extracts for cannabis and extracts-related formulations and products with unique quality as well as testing services in one bundled package here at the site in Langley.
Very good. Okay, and so how is the downturn in the cannabis affecting your business?
Well, from our perspective, we think we've picked the right time to be working on a model that really is focusing on where the value add is in the cannabis industry. So we've steered clear of cultivation. Nothing wrong with cultivation because it's a necessary aspect of the whole value chain for cannabis. But our view is that the value add and the higher margins are in the extracts related products and formulations. We've focused on that. We are a purpose-built, purpose-renovated facility, former food manufacturing facility. We've spent about 4 months getting fully rezoned in the Lower Mainland, first facility to be rezoned for cannabis standard processing and analytical testing. And we feel that focusing on the extracts and concentrates along with a co-located testing lab will allow us to focus on Cannabis 2.0, which recently enacted on the 17th of October. And we think that the markets for cannabis products are in a dip. And if you look at the successful cannabis companies in the Canadian space, it's the cannabis and extracts related companies, and that's where we intend to put our stake in the ground.
Oh, fantastic. And so the analytical business, is that going to be a major contributor to your revenue, or is that more or less a side business that's complementary to your main business?
Yeah, I would say that it's complementary. When I first did the business model for this standard processor, when I looked at the quality control required, when you look at the timing that you want to get those results back, and your ability to be nimble in terms of formulations and providing services to your clients, it just made complete sense to develop a analytical testing lab on this premises. And it will generate revenue, but it's really there to support the client base that is coming to our standard processor for both quality, because just like in real estate, it's location, 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 and extracts, it's quality, 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 and checking that quality along the way. And the industry has really seen degradation in batches and failed crops and failed extract products. So smaller batches mean more testing costs. So having a co-located subsidiary really drives that down for us.
Yeah. Okay. So are you actually going to produce the edibles themselves or just the concentrates?
So we'll do formulations for edibles. We're currently not going to produce edibles on this site. But if you're an edibles manufacturer and you say, I need this formulation to produce my edible, it's my API, my active ingredient that I want to add. We'll produce it to the specifications of the client. We'll make sure it's tested, passes all the Health Canada testing regimes, and then we'll provide it to you so that you can then add it into your edible product.
Mm-hmm. And so at this point, do you have clients lined up for that function?
So we are working with some folks on edibles contracts. Our current contracts are related to contract processing and white labeling for concentrates market that should be on the shelves by December. We're very excited later on to be rolling in some brands that hopefully in the near future that we'll be able to fulfill on our own with our own extracts and concentrates products that we develop. And that's another subsidiary we have, Adastra Brands, as part of the package for the company.
I see. And so this is a Canada-only operation at this point?
Yes, it is a Canada-only operation at this point. But we have built our facility out to good manufacturing European Union specifications so that we can get that certification that'll allow us to expand beyond the Canadian borders into the EU, European countries. Our analytical testing lab, Kenya, is also built out so that we can get certified in ISO 17025, which is another requirement for any company that's exporting to the EU has to have its products tested by an ISO 17025 lab. So we have our eyes wide open on those processes. We know they're multi-year certification processes. They don't happen overnight, but we have the long game in mind in terms of growing beyond the Canadian market.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and so the business of testing and creating formulations, is that that's kind of a unique little niche in the whole cannabis value chain. I don't know of any other companies that are doing quite that. Is there a big competitive landscape, or not really that much?
There's a couple of big competitors out there. The two primary competitors would be obviously MetaPharm Labs, who's been very successful in the space, and Valens, GrowWork. Valens also has its own testing lab, but not co-located, I believe, is the same as we are. But they're both, if you look at their books, they're one of the few companies that are generating good EBITDA and net income. And as I said previously, it's the extracts and concentrate focused business-to-business providers that are one of the few portions of the cannabis sector that are doing well.
Sure. Okay, so then the passage of the sort of Cannabis 2.0 rules that we've been hearing about, that changes everything for you guys, I guess, and really facilitates your business. Is it a case that we're going to look to Q1 2020 to really see the ramp up start to happen?
Yes, I believe so, because the products won't be really on the shelves until December timeframe in the provinces. So you won't see that revenue coming in until approximately the middle of the quarter, Q1 2020, and that fits perfectly for our timing. We really are poised to conduct a reverse takeover transaction here by the end of the month. And we're submitting our evidence package so that we're going to be licensed by late Q4 and ready to start production right in Q1. So timing couldn't be better for us, and we think we're hitting the market at the right time because we think we're sort of bottoming out. So it's just a perfect timing for us.
You bet. All right, Andy, that's a great introduction to the company. We'll leave it there for now and come back to you soon. Thank you very much for joining me today.
And thank you very much for having me.